And what am I gonna say, baby? A to the L to the I to the Z to the E, and it's all on me. And we are back with your daily dose of legendary Z. So what's up, y'all? I just came from the doctor. I think low key my doctor was actually like, actually I don't even think I need this. She was low key throwing shots at me. She was calling me fat on the low. Yeah, she was doing all of that. That shit hurt my heart. That shit hurt my heart. So, actually, no, I lost another pound. I've been going down. I was like I think I was like 235, and now I'm at 227. So, yeah, yeah, slowly but surely. Manifestation really does work, especially when you manifesting. I'm healthy and fit, and it's easy for me to lose weight. Okay, but anyway, today's topic is going to be about why um, I decided to, uh, why forgiveness is important. But for me, okay, the reason I am coming into this point in my life into forgiving people and stuff like that is simply because I cannot expect for people to see me for the new version of me if I first don't see myself as that, okay? And if I haven't forgiven myself, or if I haven't forgiven other people, also if I haven't forgiven other people. And the reason this is important is because I've had a lot of pain from my past, okay? I suffer from physical abuse. I've suffered from emotional abuse, mental abuse, and spiritual abuse, okay? The reason is because, my mother neglected me at a very young age, okay? She was never really in my life. I know who she is, but she was never really there for me, okay? I was physically abused by my dad. And my uncle used to beat the hell out of me too. I ain't even gonna lie about that. I had like webs and stuff on my arms, my back, and all types of stuff. But I'm not here to get sympathy. No. I will say one thing honestly is that I do love my dad. I do love my mom. And even though majority of the pain that I have is from my past and from when I was younger as a child, I'm learning that not only in therapy, okay, that I have to forgive, but I'm also learning that I can't continue to hold on to it and I must forgive those people. Am I going to sit here and say that I've forgiven my mother and my dad? Not all the way. My dad and I don't really have a very close relationship like that due to things happening in the past and stuff like that. I had always had a fear of my dad. I always feared him. And that fear took over me for such a long time that it just made me like just hearing his car, his truck. He used to have a truck. And we used to call it Black Beauty. It was really nice. It was a nice truck. I forgot what kind of truck it was, but it was nice. And his keys, just him, it would bother me, okay? I'm gonna set this down, okay? And so my whole thing is that going through that and it paused. See, I hate that. But I really wanted to, I might as well hold it. I'm gonna just hold it, okay? So going through that whole situation and stuff like that, it it put me in a very tough position in my life, okay? Um, and not really having my mother there, it also put me in a tough situation because not only just not having my mother there, that hurt a lot, was because I had so much anger inside. And like I said in my last video of forgiving myself because of what, I'm not saying this is an excuse. So before you say anything, please listen. I'm not saying this is an excuse. But since the way I was feeling inside and what I was going through, I would take it out on other people. That's just what it was. Okay. And like I said, my mother was not there for me. She did not raise me. My grandmother and my uncle actually raised me. Okay. They raised me, but I can honestly say that majority of the things that I have learned was mostly on my own. Okay. I come from, if you want it, you got to earn it. I didn't have stuff handed to me. I worked for what I wanted. Meaning, even, let me tell you something. I was that kind of kid in school. I got D's and F's. I ain't finna lie to y'all. I got D's and F's. I did. Because let me tell you something. School was like an escape for me. It was like, not elementary. I used to get bullied when I was younger. All the way to elementary, all the way up to middle school. Okay? But the thing is that school for me, when I was like in like school, it would be my little escape. Sometimes like high school, around those times, it would be like everything that was going on at home, whatever it was, because after a while my dad was abusing me for a certain amount of time, but it stopped. Okay, it did stop. Okay, but then it was mostly just cursing me out and telling me that I would never amount to anything and I would be just like my mother. Okay, now I'm not putting this out here because I want sympathy. No, I'm putting this out here because I'm telling the story of my life, and I'm telling the story as to why it feels good for me to express these things, because like I said, I am growing myself. But however, me growing and me changing and doing what I need to do for myself, I could still help to inspire and to heal other people. So I'm on this journey, no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone else tells me, I'm not going to stop doing what I feel I was put here to do. And that is to change lives also, as well as I'm changing mine. Okay. So this is very important to me. So I'm going to give you the real. Like I said, that's why I have chapter growth, because this is me going through my chapter. Eventually, I'm going to start traveling with y'all too. I'm going to start having y'all, like, probably not in a car, like probably when we go out some places and I got my phone, or I'm just recording, hey baby, how you doing? Okay. But anyway, so basically school, going back to the topic, school was like an escape for me. And I remember my teacher telling me, he said, Alize, I hope I have a daughter like you one day, because it's like everything that you go through, I know you go through a lot at home, but you never take it out on nobody. And I'm gonna be honest with you, before I didn't do that. I would, no matter what I went through at home, my personal life would stay at home. I wouldn't bring that to school. I'd just be having fun. I was failing classes. Now, I'm not saying that's no, I'm not saying don't fail in school. I'm not saying fail in school. Don't fail in school. I'm not saying fail in school. That is not something you should think about. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, I was having fun, literally. I was really having fun, because I didn't care. But I will say that when it came time to graduate, oh yes, I did care. I didn't get my high school diploma until I was 20. So for anyone out there who's struggling to get their high school diploma, or if you had to get your high school diploma late, girl, boy, look, honey, look, sweetie, it don't even matter, okay? As long as you went back to get it, okay? Period. So anyway, like I was saying, oh shit, my back. Oh, it hurts so bad. I don't like my doctor at all. I really don't. I don't know why I said that. But no, seriously, like, she did not give me no pain medication or nothing. Talking about, you need this physical therapy. We gonna see. But anyway, I'm gonna tell y'all that at the end though. So I would go to school, and I had a friend, and I'm not gonna say her name. We just gonna call her Seaweed, okay? So I had a friend named Seaweed, and she was cool. Seaweed was cool. So Seaweed and we became close friends. And for some reason, when I had became a Christian and I started to get into the religion and find Jesus Christ and stuff like that, I felt like at that moment that was something that changed my life, because what I was going through, how my grandmother and my dad would talk about me and the things that they would say about me and how it would get me down, was the reason why I didn't do certain things. I remember I told my dad that I actually do have a gift, and my gift is to be a writer, and his very exact words were, you don't have a gift. And that was something that did hurt me for a very long time. And I was going through this pain so much, because they say words don't hurt, sticks and stones break my bones, but words will never hurt me. No. That is absolutely wrong, because from what I've been learning and from what I've been seeing and learning for many years, I'm going to be real with you and say words will not hurt if you don't allow them to. But however, that will stick in the subconscious mind. And you don't even know. You're unconsciously aware of what's going on. But your subconscious will start to believe it. In so many years, I was believing I was worthless. For so many years, I didn't really think about trying in school. So why should I try? I mean, I'm worthless, right? So that's what I was thinking at that time. Okay. And I was letting that stuff get to me. I know what you're going to say. Why would you let this stuff get to you? It's not something. Well, I was very young at the time, and I was still childish, and I was still immature. And not to mention, I was still not a child, but I was like a teenager at the time. So I was still trying to find an escape. Okay. And I went through a situation, and I ended up meeting a certain guy when I was younger. I wouldn't prefer to him as my ex. I would just prefer to him as someone I used to know. And it was terrible. Not only was I would say, I don't want to say he was physically abusive. He did put his hands on me a couple of times. However, through that situation, I wouldn't say it was like he was beating the hell out of me 24/7, but he had mind control, literally, because I was so naive and I was so gullible at the time. And when you're very vulnerable at the time and you just let someone in, it's not a good thing. Because at that moment I was having family problems, I was having family issues, it was a lot going on, and it was just getting worse. And it was just like, that was the scapegoat. It says it in my chart, I'm an escapist. Okay, so I would say that I remember this one lady I met, okay? She used to do my hair, okay? And I remember meeting her, and she used to tell me, she said, Alize, she said, you're meant to do something. You were one of the chosen ones. I was told that I was one of the chosen ones. And I never really understood what that meant. I never understood what was the chosen one. What does that mean? You could be chosen for anything. And at this point in this world, there's many gods. I used to believe there's only one high, mighty God because I was a Christian, but I was so not only just naive, but I was also, it's a certain word you say. I was closed-minded, okay, because I didn't see anything else except just only Jesus Christ alone and God himself, and there's no one that's almighty than God. And I'm not saying anything disrespectful to Christians, so please do not be in my comments saying that I'm disrespecting anyone's religion. I don't disrespect people's religion. I used to. I would. Yes, I'll be honest. I used to, because I was the old me, and I was very immature, and I was Neho. That's just how Alize was. I'm keeping it 100. However, what I will say is, going on, she told me, you're one of the chosen ones, and you were meant to do something greater. You have a bigger purpose, and your purpose is to get away from your family. I said, the first purpose is to get away from my family. So I'm thinking, like, so I'm supposed to get away from it? That's what I'm thinking to myself. However, one thing I will say was, throughout what I went through over that time, in that period, okay, it wasn't about what I went through, but it's like how I overcame it and what I did to overcome it. I went through situations, I made a mistake, I did lose my family in the process of it, and a lot of my family members stopped talking to me even till this day. So a lot of people don't really associate with me as much, okay, because I made a terrible mistake. But I wasn't leaving because of a guy, because at that moment I wasn't leaving because of him, or I wasn't going because I was tired of them talking down on me and saying that I wasn't going to be anything. And at that moment, I just decided to make the decision to leave, and I was like around 18. So I said, well, legally at this time, I am an adult, so I can leave, right? Oh, absolutely. So I will never forget what my grandmother and my dad was talking about, and how they would say that my little brother was never going to be me, and how I was just a disgrace to them. They said so many things that it got to me, and I just felt like I'm tired of it and I can't do this. The first time I did leave was very wrong. It was very wrong, and I might do a story time for that later on. But what I do want to say is, the point is here. I am working on not only just forgiving myself, but forgiving other people who have hurt me and caused harm on me, especially my mother and my dad and my grandmother, because my grandmother hurt me a lot, of course. And I feel like, honestly, I feel like I was more of a burden. I always felt that way when I was younger. I would feel like I was a burden. I would feel like, I would always stay in my room, and then the family would always come over and say, why are you always in your room? Because every time I come out, you have something to ask. And the question would be, when are you going to get your high school diploma? Or when are you getting married? All of these things, all these questions, I'm just, it's too much. And people never believed that I would get my high school diploma, but I went back. I didn't go back because I wanted to prove them wrong. I went back for myself. I went to college. My mother and my dad didn't finish school. They didn't finish school like high school and middle school, high school. They didn't finish that. I went back and I got my high school diploma and I did some college. Now, I'm not saying I'm better than them. Absolutely not. I'm not saying I'm greater than them. I'm not saying that I'm more intelligent than them. But I decided to do something because I wanted to go back and I wanted to get it done. So I can say that I did do it. And I decided that it starts with my mother and my dad. And I have to accept not only just what happened, but I also have to accept the fact that, they were both young when they had me. Okay? And maybe at the time they didn't know better. And I want to say that I don't want to use it as an excuse for a person who is physically abusing anybody. It's not good to feel like, to feel like the person that is abusing you, you have to feel sorry for this person or give them sympathy. But honestly, some one thing I did learn is that it always comes from it comes from a deeper root. A root that we always miss. And it does start at home. It does. And my mother has been through a lot of things, and I might share a story, but I don't want to put that out there yet. Okay. However, I will say my mother has undergone a lot of struggles through her life and a lot of obstacles and trials. One thing I can honestly remember was the day when I seen my mother and she came up to the porch and she, looked at me, she hugged me and she said, "I'm sorry." And then afterwards, she walked away. I think that was something that really broke me the most. I always wanted to have a relationship with my mother. Sometimes I try to have one, but at this point, growing older and, going through these situations in my life, I feel like I am becoming more of a woman. And my godmother, I would say she's more of a mother to me because she's teaching me about life and teaching me how to be strong and not being weak. To understand that not everyone's going to care about, no one's going to care about what you think. No one's going to care about how you feel sometimes. Sometimes you have to suck it up and you got to just put on your grown woman draws and grown woman draws and you just got to say, you know what, it is what it is. And sometimes it's something like, I don't want to say it is what it is, but what I'm saying is the most important thing is to look deeper within the roots. I am learning to not only just forgive me, but to forgive my mom, forgive my dad. And I may probably have said I forgave them, but in reality, there's still some pain there. And who knows, there may be a conversation one day with both of them where I will have to sit them down and have a conversation. But one thing I will say is that I do love them. I do, and it's true. I do love them. And it's not easy for me to say that I love someone because the word love is very strong for me, and I'm not really too big on loving, lovey-dovey, and affection. It may seem like I am, but not so much. Because so much of my life, I really wasn't given that affection that I wanted to as a child growing up. But what it did was it kind of caused me to seep affection out for people who are more of partnerships, and it would never work because I would either become clingy to them, and I don't want to say I'm not affectionate, but it depends in some cases. But when it comes to a partner that I like, then yes. But however, like I said, it depends, honestly. It's just like clinging on to someone and just having that need, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I would have to look for that, or I even put myself in those situations. And I take full responsibility for that as myself because that's something that I have to heal, and that's something I'm healing right now. Okay, I'm in the process of healing that and being able to forgive the people who have hurt me. Yes, even my ex-girlfriend, even my the person I used to know, the relationships I used to be in. I would say there were only 2 relationships that only caused me heartache and pain the most. Honestly, they did. Because I'm the kind of person, I don't give you an inch, I give you yards. But someone said that when you give a person an inch, then you start to give them a mile, then you start to give them you'll give them a yard. They'll expect you to give them more because you're giving them so much. But the whole thing is, I was tired of doing that. And I'm actually tired of holding on to the pain and the regret and the sadness and the sorrow. So I decided to tell myself every day as my affirmation, I forgive myself unconditionally because I put myself in certain situations that I did not like. And those situations left me in very tough situations. Anything could have happened to me, but I felt like there was always something that was watching over me, and or someone. It was something. It was a spirit watching over me. Cuz I've seen a lot of weird stuff. A lot of weird stuff have happened to me, honestly. And I've seen things, and it's crazy, you know? So what I want to say is, don't forgive for that person, but forgive for you. And even though I'm in the process of still forgiving the two people who have hurt me the most, okay, and have made me feel like, or the three people, and have made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I would say my grandmother and my dad did that. My mother was just never there. What I will say is that at the end of the day, take these steps. And what I will say is, for advice, look deep within and say, this may have happened, but I'm in a better place right now. I'm in a better place in my life. And even if you may not be in a better place in your life, you may not feel like that, still tell yourself that. Still tell yourself that it will get better. Because over time it is. And I feel like forgiveness is the most important thing. And that's something that I'm doing as of right now. By first forgiving me and then forgiving other people. Because honestly, I don't want to hold a grudge for the rest of my life. I don't. But I think the most thing that really hurts me the most, aside from being physically abused, was that my dad was always there. He always bought me stuff. He was always there for me. He gave me, food, all of that. I had a roof over my head. It's not like but my mother, I think that's one thing that hurt the most, only because she just wasn't there. And it bothers me till this day, because when I want to have a conversation and I want to get deep and I want to talk to her about these things, she's not there. It's like she'll come and then she goes. She doesn't stay. And in my life, if you're going to come and go, then you have to choose whether you're going to come, whether you're going to stay, or you're going to leave. I don't play that back and forth stuff. You make a decision. And who knows, at one point I did tell myself, maybe I felt deep down inside that I may have turned out like my mother. What if I was around her? My brothers and sisters, there were only two of them that were around her, and I just guess maybe being a mother in her perspective just wasn't it. I remember asking her why did she do what she did when she missed the court date to come and get me, away from my dad because of the physical abuse. And the only words that she could tell me was, I'm not going to answer something or be blamed for something that I know that wasn't my fault. So I did cry because it hurt. It still does. But at the same time, one thing that really brings me joy is helping someone else. And one thing Les Brown said, take the worry away from ourselves and help someone else heal. So if you're someone going through something and you know that you want to forgive someone if they've hurt you, and it may be hard, it will be hard. It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to happen overnight. But understand that if we don't forgive those people, they do take power over us. They do. And that's something that I don't want at all. So remember, my reason for forgiving is to not just take my power back, but to be able to feel good again. To know that everything that I experienced, I grew through it. I'm still here, and I'm still making it through. And I'm going to make it even further. Despite what was done, despite, because I'm the type of person I would never have changed anything in my life from what I went through to where being the woman that I am as of now. I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't. Because it really taught me something. It taught me to begin to love myself. To start to be a friend first to me. And change how I view myself. And change how I feel about me. Because everyone has their opinions. Opinions are argumentative statements. I can't tell you that this is going to happen overnight. I'm not here to tell you that forgiving this person is going to be easy. But what I can tell you is it will set you free. And that is what I'm doing as of right now. Working on forgiving my mom and my dad and my grandmother and myself. And I will honestly say that lately I've been feeling a lot better because I've been seeing, and I feel like the one thing when I got injured, when I had injured my foot, one thing I can honestly say that it made me open my eyes and realize that there are people that care about me, and I'm only going to push these people away if I don't start to change. So when I injured my foot, I seen a light because I realized my godmom was there. She came to pick me up. She was there for me. She helped me. She was worried about what was going on. Any situation, she was always there. Even when I was going through the situation at my old job and I couldn't, people were making fun of me for having herpes and all this stuff. It was just a lot that was going on. So I know what you might say. How do people know you had herpes? I made a mistake. I opened my big ass mouth. I asked the stupidest question, the most dumbest question ever. And I was like, what does this look like? Is this... Not thinking, I said, please don't tell nobody. Next thing I know, it got around the whole damn thing. And it also got to a crush of mine. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is embarrassing. But honestly, it was me. I'm gonna take full responsibility, you know what I'm saying? It's certain things that you gotta keep to yourself, but it's like whatever's, hey, shoot, if you gonna judge me for having herpes, I mean shit. But at the end of the day, I'm still intelligent, I'm still successful, I'm still following my passion. And you might be asking to work for me one day, just saying. So yeah, but anyway, she was there for me, and so was my god brother, and I was mean as hell to them when I first came here. And I realized that they really do care. Yes, they may say things because they're Scorpios, and I'm not really too much of a fan with Scorpios. Absolutely not. And it, but at the same time, also Libras. I'm so not a fan of Libras. Because I'm not saying I dislike them, but so many Libras I've came in contact with. I can't date one, but I could probably be a friend with a Libra. That's cool. But anyway, and Leos are sweet, but just don't get on their bad side. There was this one Leo girl. I couldn't stand this girl. She was fake. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, basically, my whole thing is I want to leave you with this by saying it's not going to be an easy journey to forgive somebody, but really take my advice and listen to me and understand that I myself am going through this process of forgiving my family, forgiving the people who I feel that have caused me a lot of pain, and the ones that I really may have to have a conversation and sit down and talk with. I do want my dad and my mom to be at my wedding. I do want them to be there if something was to happen to me, and it's like this whole, I want to fix that. I'm going to fix that myself. I feel like it's important because I want to have that. However, it's not something that, I'm going to die if I don't get it or nothing like that. But my whole thing is I do love my dad and I do love my mom, and we all make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect. Okay, so what I want to leave you with today is forgiveness is key. Why is it important? It's important because it heals you. It's important because it will heal your heart, and it will take the stress and the worry away from you, and you won't hold on to that pain and then move that to someone else. That's why I just like relationships. Okay? Now I'm gonna share some a little bit before I get off, because I want to say this. Now this may sound crazy because I do like women. I've always liked women, even when I was with guys. But as a Christian, I would say I don't like girls. But in reality, I did kind of like girls. I was like curious at first, and then I was like, I don't know. But then I started to date guys, and there was this one guy in particular that I dated, and he, like, after that, it was just like, I never dated a guy again. At first, it was gonna be bisexual. Then it was gonna be, I was just gonna, me personally, I was like, I could have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. I could have either or, okay? However, I remember I had a conversation in one of the RAs, and she told me when I was in Job Corps, she said, Alize, you gotta choose like what you want to do. And I ended up becoming a lesbian. Now, it may sound weird. It might be like, is it because of the situation that happened with the guy? I remember I was listening and watching a video about young Pharaoh, and he did say that those could also be reasons, and also because of father issues or mother issues. And I think that psychologically, from a standpoint, that could be an issue. Yeah. However, I have always liked women, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I hate men. I do not hate men. I have nothing against any man. I don't. But I love women. Women are beautiful. And I love women that have piercings. I will say that. I love piercings and tattoos. Those are like my weakness. Oh, and brown eyes. That is just amazing. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video, man. Okay? I'm just out here putting stuff out, okay? But seriously, forgive for you, and work on that. Forgive for you so you can let go of that and you can feel better about yourself. Not for that other person. It doesn't matter. It matters for you because you're healing yourself, okay? So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm just going to drop one video today. Probably not going to drop a second one. Just going to drop one. But I will be dropping another 2 tomorrow. But not today. I have to go and do some stuff. So I will say, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. A to the L to the I to the Z to the E. It's all on me. And you have just got your daily dose of Legend Z. And we are out. Let me stop.